It's no secret by now that I am a super attractive alpha male billionaire who is also very humble. However, unlike most billionaires with fancy home gyms and basketball courts, it may surprise you to know that I only use 4 very basic pieces of gym equipment. And no, it's obviously not because I can't afford a gym membership or proper gym equipment, because I definitely could. It's because I want things as simple as possible in every aspect of my life, but especially in fitness. And using these 4 pieces of equipment has allowed me to get in the best shape of my life, taking a holistic approach to health and fitness. So if you've been struggling to figure out what exactly to get in your home gym, here is my entire setup that cost me less than $150. The first piece of equipment that I have is a mat. The most simple, the cheapest piece of equipment that you can get. And I think even if you only had a mat, you could get in pretty good shape. It cost me about £10 or $12 off Amazon. I just roll it up and keep it in the corner of my living room. It kind of creates this training zone in your space. You feel like you now have a defined boundary for working out, and it doesn't take up much space either. The second piece of equipment that I use is a kettlebell, and this is for full body strength, cardio, mobility, power and explosiveness. If you want to do some really time efficient workouts that don't take long but give you a really good stimulus, one kettlebell is often all you need. You can do so many different exercises with it. If you're a beginner, you can start with deadlifts, goblet squats, two-handed swings, and maybe some kind of rowing variation. As you build up your base of strength, you can start moving on to one-handed swings, cleans and presses, push presses, snatches. If you want to get really into kettlebells like some other people online, you can start doing Turkish get-ups, you can start doing all sorts of juggling drills. I don't know, there's so many out there. I don't really follow these exercises. I kind of stick to the basic movements of kettlebell training, but you can take it as far as you want to take it. And this is really useful for me when I train legs, because it means I can do unilateral leg movements with the kettlebell as my weight, and that works really well for me. I bought this kettlebell on sale for about 60 British pounds, which I think is about $70 from a website called MirrorFit, but I know that Rogue and a lot of other websites will have good quality kettlebells, and I keep it by the washing machine, and it takes up less space than a pair of shoes. It is so easy to store. It takes up literally no space at all. The amount of exercises and different types of exercise that you can do with just one kettlebell will surprise you immensely. Training with a kettlebell is more about training different movements as opposed to training muscle groups. You know, for example, a snatch, you can't really say which muscle group specifically that targets. That is just a full body movement, a full body exercise, and that is why it's so good for balance, mobility, and strength through the majority of your joints. The third piece of equipment that I have is the pull-up bar. I just use this one. It's really easy. Once you put it together, it's really easy just to put over a door frame. It can be a bit scary because you feel like you're going to pull the door frame off, but once you've used it a few times, your worries will just disappear. You won't worry about it anymore. So I got this pull-up bar off Amazon, and it cost me about 35 or 40 pounds, so about 45 or 50 $50, and it's pretty sturdy, it's pretty stable. The only thing I'd say is that it's been leaving these marks on the door frame, like black marks on the door frame. They don't scrub off. I think it's going to be a case of just giving it a bit of paint, touching it up a bit, but if you're okay with a couple of marks on your door frame, the benefit really outweighs any of the negatives. And I've talked about pull-ups on a couple of my videos, but they are a really important tool if you're interested in muscle growth, in overall strength and longevity. It's really worth the while to learn how to do pull-ups, even if you use a band, even if they're assisted. I know that they're quite an intimidating exercise, and they're a really hard exercise to do as well and get the hang of, but they give you so much benefit. They train your entire back. You're going to get that V taper. It's going to train your arms. It's going to train your posture. No matter what age you are, I truly believe that if you invest the time and effort and energy into learning how to do pull-ups, into improving your strength and technique in doing pull-ups, it will pay you back tenfold in the long run. Most people can't do a pull-up, so if you can, you're ahead of most other people. And the final piece of equipment that I use is gymnastics rings. And now if you've already got your pull-up bar set up, all it takes is for you to just slot these gymnastics rings onto your pull-up bar and you are good to go. I use these for push and pull training, and there's a big benefit to your arm growth. If you want big arms, you want big biceps and triceps, these are one of the best ways to get it. I would only recommend gymnastic rings for people with a base layer of strength. So if you're intermediate and above, the issue is if you haven't built up that strength at first, you're going to be wobbling all over the place. The stability is obviously non-existent with gymnastics rings. You not only have to work the muscles in whatever exercise you're doing, but you also have to be able to stabilize your joints, which requires a lot more effort and a lot more strength to do. These cost me £40. It's about $45, and again, I got them off Amazon. I just store them under my bed. I tidy them up, I wrap them up around the ring, and I just store them under my bed, so they're not even in in sight until I get them out. They're portable, they're adjustable, so you can do a load of exercises on them. They have full body utility, and the instability makes simple moves more challenging, which means that you can build more strength, more muscle, and improve your longevity. So once you're a bit further on in your journey, I would definitely recommend getting a pair of gymnastics rings. So what do I think are the main benefits of only using 4 pieces of equipment? Well, firstly, it gives me a very narrow focus on a few key movements that I can just get good at, and I can spend the time and effort focusing on really less than 10 exercises that I can progress at and get good at, instead of having to show up to a gym and think, what am I going to do today? I don't have to think about it. I can do a program for 12, 16, 20 weeks of the same exercise and just progress it either by adding some more weight, adding some more reps, or adding some more sets. And that is how simple it is. These kind of simple exercises that you can progress almost infinitely are going to give you the greatest benefit on your time investment. Another benefit is that there is literally no need to have a public gym membership. If you enjoy going to the gym, by all means go to the gym. I don't, I know a lot of you guys don't. And you can pretty much do a whole workout in the time that it would have taken you to drive to the nearest gym. And they hit every main aspect of health and fitness. If you have a mat, you can just do burpees. That's your cardio sorted. You can add in a jump rope, you can add in some running if you want to. Kettlebell is a lot of cardio, a lot of strength and mobility and stability movements. They train the whole body. You can gain a bit of muscle with them, but they're really, really good at mobility, stability, strength. Then you have a pull-up bar and the gymnastics rings, which are going to train lots of hypertrophy, lots of joint stability. So I'd be interested to know what kind of equipment that you guys use, if any. Let me know. I hope you found this video somewhat helpful, and I will see you in the next one.